Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirkley's Guitar School. So today we're going to have a look at Here Comes the Sun. So get your capo on your 7th fret and let's get into it. So this is what we're up against. We're going to have a go at the 16 bar theme, which covers the vast majority of the song. So this is the first half and this is the second half. So don't worry about pausing it at the minute. We are going to break this down chunk by chunk momentarily. Make sure you stick to the end of the video because it's got a really cool little jangly bit at the end that I want to talk about. So let's get straight into it. So this is all based, again, capo on the 7th fret. You can do it without, but it won't sound like the Beatles, and also it won't sound like what I'm doing. So if you've got one, put one on the 7th fret for me. So this first bit is all based around a D chord. So I want you to pick the open D string and then strum the whole chord for me. And it's one of those songs where you pick the first couple of notes and you know where it is as soon as you start picking. It's really satisfying start to the tune. So open D, full chord. Then with an upstroke, while maintaining this D shape, I'm going to do an upstroke and I'm going to pick that B string, which is on the 3rd fret of the B. Now, while retaining that D shape, I'm going to lift my middle finger off the high E string. I'm going to pick with an upstroke that high E string, and then I'm going to put the 2nd fret back down. You see the 0 and the 2 around here, yeah? Remember to take your middle finger off to get that open E string. And then I'm going to pick that 3rd fret again while maintaining that D shape with an upstroke. And can you see here, I call these washing lines. This is a tied note. What this means is you're going to pick this 3 and you're going to just let it ring out, or so much so that it spills over into the next bar, okay? You don't need to pick this note a second time, okay? It's what's called a tie. So the first bar, if you need to pause on that and just get that down under your fingers, that's completely cool. I'll be here when you're ready. Then moving on into the 2nd bar, maintaining this D shape, I'm going to strum the D chord with a downstroke. Then I'm going to lift that middle finger off again to get the open E. And I'm going to catch the 3rd fret that should already be on the fretboard. And then from that point, once we get to here, there, completely let go, and the next lot's all based around a G. So I'm going to press the 3rd fret, and I'm just going to strum the first 5 strings. If you catch that top string, it's not the end of the world, but I'd prefer you to at least show a little bit of willing and try and just catch the 5. Doesn't really sound like much, that, but it's more a passing chord to the next bit. You can hear it's going somewhere, can't you? So again, pause if you want to work on those 2 bars. If not, let's move on to the next bit. Now, can you see how I've left that last note of the 2nd bar, that chord where we let go of everything and change? I've left that in because it's going to tie into the rest of the lick, okay? So let's just park that for a second and I will come back to it. When you reach this point, after playing the first 2 bars, you should already have the middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. You can use the 1st, but I like to use the middle finger because we're going to put the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now all the difference between those 2 chords, we're adding an extra melody note. Now I'm just doing 2 downstrokes there. Now you see the rest here. Let's just skip over that for a second. You can put a little mute in there if you want to, but if we're taking this through bar by bar, let's just ignore that for a second and we'll come back to it in version 2, okay? So you're going to play this chord, then you're going to put the ring finger on the 3rd fret, then pick the open high E with an upstroke, and then pick that 3rd note, that 3rd fret on the B. Down, down, up, up. moving on to the next part. It's all based around an A7 chord. Now, because of the nature of us having the capo on the 7th fret, I keep saying second today, it's the 7th. I like to use my 2nd and my 3rd finger for that. You can use those if you want, but I've got big hands, so I struggle to get everything where they need to be, especially with this first fret down here with the capo in the way. So I'm going to use 2nd and 3rd finger. You can use whatever you want there. It doesn't really matter. But the main crux of that is you're going to strum the chord. Then you're going to take the B string off, strum it again. Then you're going to put it down again. Down, up, down. Finger on, finger off, finger on. And can you hear that little bit of chord melody going on there? Then with the pinky, I'm going to play the 3rd fret of the B string, and then I'm going to play the high E, and that's with a downstroke on the 3 and an upstroke on the 0. Whole thing. Yeah, he says. Pause if you need to, have a go through it. If not, it might be worth actually. Let me just go back to this slide. We've covered the first 4 bars there. So if you want to pause it here instead and have a go at the first 4 bars, it should sound like this. And I think as well, I'll leave that on there while I'm waffling. I think it's worth noting that it's designed to be played quite scruffy, is this, and if you catch the odd string here or there, it will just, and your fingers are in those chord shapes that I'm saying, you see the D, A7, D, A7, it will sound really harmonious and really nice, you know, and I bet if you put 16 bars, the first 16 bars and the second 16 bars of George Harrison's isolated guitar part, there would be little nuances and little differences between them. So it's a bit of an art playing scruffy, but also well enough that you can pick out melody. I think this is a great study for any acoustic guitarist looking to get into some more advanced stuff. So we're going to move on to bars 5, 6, 7 and 8 now. So 5, 6, 7 and 8 are there, okay? So the first lot is based around a D chord, so just as before, most of these phrases will begin with a D chord, okay? So we're going to pick that open D string like we did before, and then strum the whole chord. Upstroke on that 3rd fret, open high E, 2nd fret of the high E. It's just the same as what we did. Just the same as bar 1. And remember the little washing line that's connecting those two? We don't need to play that 3 in brackets. Then we're going to go full stroke of the D, open, just as before. We're in bar 2 now. We're going to strum that D chord. Take the middle finger off that D chord, open high E, 3rd fret on the B, and then we're going to go to this little G shape that's not really a G shape because we're only fretting one note. Now as we get into bar, where are we? Bar 7 and bar 8. Bar 8's dead easy because you just play that A7 chord, but we're going to, once we've finished bar 6, we've played that 3 0 0 0 0 0. We're going to take a tiny little rest, and then we're going to go to the 2nd fret with the index finger on the high E string, and we're going to strum the G, the B and the high E. Then we're going to let go, open, 3rd fret on the B. This is what I call a root note, is this, so this is why we keep going back to this 3, because it's another D note. And then we're going to hit a big fat A7 chord. I'll play the whole thing for you. Rather than me pausing it here, why don't we go again back to this slide and you try and tie it in with everything else. Feel free to take a screenshot or pause the video. that whole thing so far sounds like this. And if you're mega keen, let's go on to bars 9, 10, 11 and 12. So, bar 9. Bar 9's the same and bar 10 is very, very similar, but just for the sake of good practice, let's go through it all. Open D, strum the D, upstroke on that 3rd fret, open, 2nd, 3rd fret, with the washing line again that's going to bleed over. Then we're going to strum the D chord again. We're going to pick that 3rd fret, on the B string, open on the high E, 2nd. And can you see how whenever I need to, I'm just letting one finger off that D shape because we want all the notes to be reverberating in the same key. Okay? But the first 2 bars of this phrase. I've just remembered that this bar here is ever so slightly different to the ones that we've done before. I think the 2 and the 0 are the other way around. There's something ever so slightly different because this part's different. So first 2 bars. Then we're going to let go of everything, and instead of strumming that G chord, we're just going to hit that bass note again with the 2nd finger, and I'll tell you why in a second. 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Then, while I'm doing that, my index finger is going to come down to the 2nd fret of the high E. I'm going to strum that little chord again that we did a couple of bars ago. And we're going to go 2, 0, 2. And then we're going to hit a big fat E7 chord. Now, we'll talk about the strumming in the 4th bar in a second. Now, can you see all these washing lines? There's loads over here, isn't there? And what that means is we're going to strum that E7 chord. Now, I have a video somewhere on the channel called Best Strumming Pattern. It's down, down, up, up, down strumming. We've all done that, or you should have at least. If you're looking at this stuff, you should have already tackled that. It's down, down, up, down, but we're playing the first stroke a little bit earlier in what we call a push. It's at the very end of the bar. So let that first strum drag a little bit before you carry on with the rest of it. Let me play it in context and hopefully it'll make sense for you. I got a little bit muddled there, but you get the idea. We're just letting that first note just drag a little bit. And they've definitely put it in there on purpose. Very, very clever songwriting. So, have a go at that. Pause the video if you need to. We're nearly there, folks. We are nearly there. Right. This is the ending, and this is the... So let's get this first bar over here tackled first. Like everything else on this piece, we're going to play the D chord. We're going to play the open D, strum the full chord. And then as soon as I've strummed that D chord with an upstroke, I'm going to let go with my middle finger and play that open high E string. Followed by, I'm just going to do upstrokes through the remainder of the chord, and my fingers should already be in place for the rest of this bar, which is 3rd fret on the B string, and then 2nd fret on the G. And from there, I'm going to completely let go of the guitar, and then I'm going to, with my ring finger, I'm going to play that 4th fret, and then I'm going to play the 3rd fret with my middle finger like this. Now, what we need to do for basically the rest of this whole pattern, up until we get to these pull-offs at the end, the last 4 notes that we'll talk about, from this point, I want you to consciously let all of the notes bleed into one another. And as I go G, B, high E, G, B, high E, I'm going down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay? So ring finger on the 4th fret, middle finger on the 2nd fret, and then open high E, and I'm going to go down, down, up. Can you see me doing that? Yeah? From there, I'm going to keep that third fret with my middle finger on for the entirety of this lick until we change, okay? It's only going to be my ring finger and my index finger that do any swapping. So I've got 4, 3, 0. I'm going to let go with my ring finger and put my index finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and I'm going to go 2, 3, 0. From there, I'm going to let go with the index finger, still keeping that middle finger on the 3rd fret, and I'm just going to pick the same pattern. So that's the entirety of the 2nd bar and then the 1st note of the 3rd bar. And then I'm going to put my index finger back on that 2nd fret to round it all up. 4, 2, 0, 2. And just for clarity, I just put a little pause in there to help explain it. It should be played. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? It's really glassy and technical term for it's jangly. Now I hear on the first time round George Harrison is playing, we break position there, and then the last 4 notes of this phrase he's playing the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret, but he's pulling off from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret, and I'm using middle finger and index finger for that. Then I'm going up a string and I'm pulling off from the 4th to the 2nd, and I'm using ring finger to the index. Now I'm guilty of forgetting that sometimes. Let me just go to that so you can see it in context and be practicing it while I'm waffling. I'm guilty of picking that. It's not the end of the world if you do pick it, but if you want to get super authentic, that's exactly what Mr. Harrison is doing with that. So, just as a recap then, the first part. Sorry, we'll try that again. Into the second bit. You get the idea, it's a bit scruffy. Forgive me, it's early. But you get it there. So let me know how you got on with this. I'm sort of thinking of I'm struggling to think of other great acoustic guitar like intros or little picking parts. If you've got any recommendations, hit me up in the comments and let me know. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys want me to have a look at next. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next week. Cheers.